Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Demo Mondays. Demo Mondays is a video series published on Mondays where I invite creators of different Amazon seller softwares and I ask them to present their products just like this on the screen. And my next guest is Zon.Tools. And Zon.Tools is presented by the co-founder Stefano Starkel. Hello, Stefano.
Hello, how are you? How are you doing, Augustas? Thank you for having me here.
Everything is good on my side. And please tell us what Zon.Tools is and what problems does it solve for Amazon sellers?
Zon.Tools, in very short, is a full-scope enterprise automation solution for Amazon sponsored products. Full scope meaning that Zon.Tools and we cover any facet of your Amazon PPC needs, as well as automate all that can be automated within Amazon TOS thermo services and within Amazon platform and what Amazon allows you to automate in order for running profitable campaigns. As for the enterprise part is because we started designing all this algorithm engine automation more than 20 years ago to help me in my business. And at the time was an extremely bold and complex project because the concept was how to code thinking of a PPC manager and let a server do this, let a machine do the thinking. So enterprise, because it was a very bold and concept project, we ended up 2 years after. So today we've several proprietary algorithms that are working in the backend in order to run all the tasks that you should or service or management service should run on your PPC daily. Continuing on, to our knowledge, we are currently the fastest, most advanced PPC automation tool that is on the market. We can and we are automating all sponsored product best practice, and we do it in a way that is flexible and granular enough to adapt to any PPC strategy or goal you might have, being it more traffic, being it more revenue, but it's always the case that you want more revenue. So being it more traffic, more profit, or just if you want to test hypothesis. Right now we have 7 that are active. So we are in beta testing right now. For all our users, right now they have 7 main engines that are continually working, like I said before, on the backend to optimize their bidding, as well as optimize and mine the search terms and the keywords they bid on based on data that Amazon releases us. And the point of running Zon.Tools for your PPC is that it will help you catching the bleeding keywords before they start bleeding. That was my goal. I used to be very aggressive. So with my aggressive bidding, I needed to know when I was about to bleed on a keyword. And Zon.Tools was bid around my strategy. And now it pivoted around everybody's strategy. But the core concept is we are able to see where your bidding is going, where your click and spend is going, and we are able to pause before we reach your limits. As for the problem you asked me what problem it solves. Well, I can tell you my story. I started selling on Amazon in 2014. I had some experience in PPC. My previous enterprise was an online booking website for Vietnam and was purely the revenue and traffic was generated purely with PPC. So I had a lot to learn on Google AdWords. And when I took over Amazon, I transferred all that learning, all the processes and strategy, and I tried to adjust them to whatever Amazon made me available. And I soon realized that in order to have sponsored products work for you, there are not many structures that you can use. There are a specific way you should structure your campaign, ad groups, SKUs, and keywords in order to leverage at the maximum the limitation that Amazon has. And not many people knows them, and even less people have the time or the money to test them out and figure out what those settings are. as well as on Amazon, especially now, you really need to be aggressive with advertising, because Amazon is a zero-sum platform. If I'm losing a sale today, somebody else is taking it. And if I'm losing a sale today and somebody else is taking it, it's like me losing 2 sales, because I'm going to lose velocity and I'm going to lose ranking. So it's not really just not losing money on PPC, but it's like, okay, how much real estate can I buy on Amazon without losing money? Because if I don't do that, somebody else will, and somebody else will overrank and win the biggest market share and win over me. Now, and then there was a problem being very aggressive. If you want to be aggressive, you really need to look at your keywords, because if you're aggressive on keywords with a lot of volume, they might cost you a lot of money in a very, very limited time. And hence, PPC mistakes, when you want to be aggressive, they cost you a lot of money. And when you're aggressive and you're scaling fast, maintenance is a pain, because you keep adding new terms, you keep looking at your customer short-term report, you keep adding new terms, but they've proven to make you money. But once you put them inside the system, you start actively bidding on them, and you need to look after them. They might not perform as well as they used to in customer short-term. So you really need to have somebody full-time checking keyword by keyword and seeing the performance. And the problem with that is that humans make mistakes. They need to sleep, they need to eat, and they get distracted. So it doesn't matter how many people I train within my PPC team, doesn't matter how many people I hired, managers, not manager, responsible project manager, nobody, no a team that I trained and no service, human service out there was able to run PPC the way I wanted, simply because they're humans. They have weekends, they need to go to the toilet, they gotta eat, they got a girlfriend, they got a mobile next where they work. So the mix of my scaling speed, me being very aggressive, and the people managing PPC being humans, it was an explosion of spend and a lot of bleeding for things that was just distractions. People missing numbers, people missing to pose a keyword. And this is the main pain points that drove me and Tariq, which is my business partner, is like the chief developer, to code Zon.Tools. Zon.Tools is simply my experience from AdWords, but then translated and morphed around Amazon sponsored products, the success that I had with this Amazon sponsored product strategy, as well as the failure that I had managing my strategy simply because of human error, and humans are not quick enough to do it. So Zon.Tools takes all the learning, transform them in numbers, and applies those numbers as algorithm to your campaigns in order to do what needs to be done faster, quicker than any human can possibly do, and in a smarter way. And what means for me, what meant to me, and what should mean for anybody that wants to join Zon.Tools is that you will be able to take the guesswork out of Amazon sponsored product and put your PPC on autopilot. You will be able to leverage proven advertising strategies and create well-structured campaigns with just a click, rather than having to watch video to remember how to do that and then go and create one campaign and one ad group and pick stuff here and there. You will save hundreds of human hours by automating 100% of the maintenance process, while at the same time, you will be able to reduce your overall account ACOS and increase sales and profit. And you will stay ahead of the competition, making marketplace expansions a piece of cake. You can roll the same strategy to Europe, and you don't really need to know the language. It's a tool, it's a strategy. You just click a button and boom, you launch everything on your UK, German, French, Italy marketplace. And the bottom line is, the best thing that this will allow you is you will have spare time. You will shift the time that you or your team used to put into PPC management to other facets of your business in order to scaling faster and driving more growth. And that's pretty much what Zon.Tools is. The presentation of a tool, what problem we think we solve, and once the problem is solved, what you will be able to enjoy out of it.
Great. And you mentioned Europe. So my next question, how many marketplaces do you cover with the Zon.Tools at the moment?
Okay, right now we cover all North America, which is US, Canada, as well as all Europe. And we are working toward onboarding Japan, because we have 1,200 accounts right now, which only 2 use Japan. So until this point was not needed yet, but yeah, we do have 2 customers that are big in Japan, and seems like the Japan API is largely different. So our infrastructure right now cannot read it, but that's on our yes.
And what kind of users are you targeting? What kind of Amazon sellers?
Although, like the tool is free and anybody can come, we give priority to intermediate users for the reason that the tool, although we try to make it as simple as possible, needs some background knowledge about at least Amazon and how to sell on Amazon and slightly of sponsored product. So we want intermediate users, but they already got their feet wet with sponsored product and possibly some success as well as some failure with it. We love advanced users. We love data geeks that can go dig into the data we provide on Zon.Tools and adjust and tweak every single lever that we have within our tool in order to reach their goal. And we love also agency and big brands. And the reason why we love them is because they love us. We can help agencies scale their managing. We can help big brands onboarding thousands of SKUs and make the management the PPC management part of their business much easier and lightweight. So both for agency and brands, Zon.Tools give a way for them to shift away human power and hours needed to manage their product or accounts toward onboarding new accounts, because we take care of the management.
Great.
So basically intermediate, advanced, agency, and big brands.
All right, so let's jump into the actual tool and see how it looks inside. And
the homepage, our homepage is www.Zon.Tools. This is a lot of, not a lot, some explanation. The main part is the Get Started Now, so whoever is interested can click here and apply for the beta. After your application gets accepted, we will give you access to our dashboard, and this is the back end. And I'm going to start by explaining, I mentioned earlier that we have 7 engines that do all the automation in the backend for you and for us. So I'm going to start by naming them. And if you're okay, Augustus, I'm going to give a little bit of explanation on each and what they do. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine them as 7 separate VAs that you hire. They can be from the Philippines, they can be from US, but the core concept is every one of these 7 that you see here are a very, very specialized artificial VA that doesn't sleep, doesn't go to the toilet, doesn't do mistakes, doesn't get distracted, and works 24/7 for you. The first one, we call it Keyword Guardian. So the Keyword Guardian engine is there to make sure that you're never overspending on any keywords, pausing that keyword whenever you reach a certain spend threshold that you give to our tool, you tell our tool, as well as we'll constantly look to keywords that have already gained sales and will pause and enable them depending on their ACOS. So basically, you're going to tell to our software, for instance, that your ACOS threshold is 50%. So we will constantly means 4 times a day, go through your reports and we'll find all keywords that are above 50% and we will pause them. And at the same time, we will look for all keywords that moved below the 50% threshold and we will re-enable it. We do that for the simple reason that Amazon conversion window is 1 week wide. So although you might pay for a click today, the conversion might be registered up to 7 days after the click. That's why we choose just to pause them and wait for more data to come in, and then possibly re-enable it. If the data comes in, if the sales come in, we're gonna re-enable it. If not, if there are no sales coming in after the conversion window is closed, so if you move this keyword, if this keyword has been posted for more than 7 days, there is keyword recycler taking over. Keyword recycler will see that this keyword has been posted for more than 7 days. It will know that the conversion window is closed, so whatever data there is on that keyword is final, and the keyword has been posted because of a bad ACOS. So keyword recycler will calculate a new updated lower bid that should move that keyword down to break even or profitability. And keyword recycler will test that hypothesis, creating an additional ad group for you that will be called test ad group with that lower bid. And keyword recycler is going to keep running this process of testing lower bids until either you drive a bid to 0 or you find a bid for that keyword that works and keep that keyword within your threshold limit or at your threshold limit. Keyword miner does what any of you guys should do. So we go through your entire customer search term reports and we find the customer search terms that have been converting and that are relevant to your product. And what we do, we mine them. So we take them away from the customer search term report and we put them into campaigns and bid on them as keywords. And we do them and we add them in campaigns in a phrase, broad, and exact match in 3 different campaigns. Needs to be said that this automation, keyword miner, works only when you create our proprietary PGNs, which are product group names, which I might explain later. So for now, just remember that we have the capability to mine your customer search terms, but we can mine them and add them only within our environment, which we call PGNs. I'm going to keep going. So BidGambler. BidGambler, again, is another VA, and its only task is to look at all your keywords and find keywords that have not received a click and slowly increase the bid until you actually receive a click. The reason is that a lot of users are way too conservative with their biddings. They bid very low, and then what we've seen that they bid very low and just simply don't get impression, and whenever they get impression, they might not get a click. BidGambler is there to help those users. BidGambler, again, will rise the bid until you get a click. As soon as you get a click, BidGambler will stop working with keyword, and BidNailer will take over. BidNailer will base its intelligence upon the average cost per click that bid and that keyword is generating. So we're going to wait a period of clicks that you set, that by default is 10. So we're going to wait 10 clicks, and after 10 clicks, we will look at the generated average cost per click that you receive over those 10 clicks, and we'll adjust the keyword bid based on your average plus a $1 increment that you decide depending on how aggressive you want to be on that campaign, on that algorithm, with specific keywords. Then we have Term-inator. Term-inator is the bad brother of keyword miner. So Term-inator does exactly the opposite. Term-inator goes through your customer search term report and finds all those customer search terms that have not been converting, that have been sucking money out of your campaigns, or that have been converting but not within your ACOS threshold, and simply negates them where they are in order to stop the bleeding. As for keyword miner, Term-inator currently can work only on our system-generated campaigns, which we call PGN. Simply because, like for keyword miner, whenever we create the system for you, a PGN is a very structured system of campaigns product SKUs and keywords, we know exactly where to negate and we know exactly where to add keywords in order to ensure and maintain your long-term performance of the ecosystem of those campaigns. And the last one is automate. Automate acts on your auto campaigns, and our engine will simply adjust your bids up and down based on your ACOS goal. To keep it very, very, very simple, let's say that your auto campaign bid is $1, your ACOS goal is 50%, but right now you have an ACOS of 25%. Automate will raise your bid to 1.5 in order to test that bid and move the bid up as much as we can while making sure that you stay within your ACOS threshold. This because the auto campaigns are fantastic for visibility. Auto campaigns build on a real estate that manual campaigns cannot. As well as auto campaign is like a phishing campaign. You find a lot of new customer terms that might or might not be relevant to your product, but that's very, very, very good intelligence. And if you have the data to take decision, it's fantastic intelligence. So this, as far as what the tool does, what I could show you is how, pretending that this is a new account, let's say that we just onboarded you, I can show you the first step, which will be to how do we automate users setup. Okay, so we onboard a new user, he has already campaigns and stuff running. How do we automate what he has? And then the second stage, I can show you how to create a PGN based on whatever setup that is currently running.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So let's go and check on the campaigns. So on the campaigns, we will list all the campaigns that your account has. As you see, there are a lot of campaigns. This is fake data, so don't take it as an idea for product or keywords. So first of all, I'm gonna filter out, and I want to see only the enabled campaigns. And then, since this is a test account that was created in December last year, so I'm gonna look at the data that belongs only to December last year. And I do this over here. So it's very intuitive. And I'm gonna search. So right now I'm filtering for only the data that belongs to December from 2017. And the campaign that, for instance, I want to automate is the Silicon Products campaign. Okay, so under the campaign name, we have many icons. Each icon will bring you to a different level. So if you were to click this icon, the blue one, you will be brought to the ad groups that are, no, this is the campaign. This one you will be brought to the ad groups that are within this campaign, this one to the SKUs that are within this campaign, this one will be brought to all the keywords that are within this campaign. And in order to start automating the campaign, I will need to check the keyword statistics. So I will simply open the keyword page in another window, sorry, in another tab. And right here, you can see that all the keywords that were in that campaign, which ad group they belong to, and which campaign they belong to. And as a set of data, we show everything that the API offers us. We don't hide anything, and we add something on top as well. But basically, we show you the cost per click, the click-through rate, how many clicks, the spend for the period of time that you selected. We show you how many orders over the 7 days conversion, how many orders over the 30 days conversion, how many sales in dollar over 7 and 30 days, the conversion rate, CR is conversion rate, and the ACOS over 7 and 30 days. Now, this is the first step, is open the keyword page. The second step is to understand what threshold you need to put inside our system. Now, this spreadsheet right now is on Google Drive, so you can go to Zon.Tools/threshold-builder, and you will get to the spreadsheet, and you can click here. It will open in Google Drive. You can either download it as Excel or add it to your drive. So the goal of a spreadsheet is, based on historic data of your campaigns, is to spit out the numbers that our algorithms need in order to automate your current setup. Okay, let's start working on it. So assuming that our silicone products price is $24, and assuming that our profit margin is 30%, and assuming that I expect, out of the overall performance of this campaign, I expect a profit of $5. So I don't want to run a break even, I want to run this campaign and pocket $5 profit for each sale. The next step is to input your average cost per click. Average cost per click is CPC. I'm going to scroll down and I see it here. So Amazon tells us that the average cost per click of this campaign has been, over that period, was 1.11. So I'm going to just put 1.11. The average conversion rate is 10.83. It's this one. Okay, so there's a lot of, that's why we're in beta, a lot of improvement we are about to make on the user experience. So we're going to make sticky header. So the conversion rate is 10.83. So I'm going to just put the 10.83 over here. Our average bid, this is a little bit more laborious, but basically you take the current bids, you sum them up, and you divide them by the amount that you summed. So I will roughly say that the average bid over here is 202. So we got 118. I would run it at roughly 1.3. And PPC sales goals, sales a day. So how many sales you need to keep generating? I generated, so this is over a month. We generated 157 sales. So in a day, you want to maintain 5 sales a day. And you put 5 sales a day. So as you see, our system spit out, or this spreadsheet will spit out this threshold here. And in order to automate this campaign, you will simply need to go back to the campaign screen. You pick the campaign you want to automate. You click on the gears, and you're presented with the screen that asks you, what is your target maximum ACOS? And now it's simply a matter of copy-pasting the results the spreadsheet told you. So our maximum ACOS should be 25. Let me go here. The minimum action click is down here. I've been advised to put 10. The maximum keyword spend, $13. Again, I could go much more in depth of what each single one of them are, but simply there wouldn't be enough time. So if there is any interest, I will tell you later what you need to do in order to learn more about the threshold themselves and about our rules. So going back to this, minimum bid dollar. Minimum bid dollar is 0.83. 0.83. The maximum bid is 2.6. 2.6. So this is the maximum amount our keyword bid gambler will bid. So we will not bid more than $2.6 for you. Of course, you know, let's adjust a spreadsheet. So if you want to have different threshold, you're free to do it. Bid increment, you're advised to put 0.14. And minimum conversion rate, you're advised to put down to 0 based on your goal that you indicated. So now I'm going to save the rules. And what this will do, it will assign rules to this specific campaign. So right now we will be able to run all our automation except mining keywords or terminating keywords. What also can be done, you could go and dig into a keyword level. So if I'm again opening the keywords screen in another tab, and I'm filtering down by ACOS 7, descending, so you will see that all the keywords have a maximum spend and a maximum ACOS set. What this means, being my maximum ACOS at 25, means that the first time our automation will run, we will pause any keyword that is above the 25% limit, which might be good. So, which actually is good because you told the system to do that, and that's what you want to do. But you might not want to apply the same exact threshold to all the keywords that are within this campaign. So, for instance, I can tell you that being my profit margin 30 and having this keyword brought me 31 sales in a month, so 1 sale a day, this is definitely a keyword that I want to keep running. Although my overall ACOS stress is 25%, I'm happy for this keyword to have 29% to keep running. So in order to tell our system that we want to allow this keyword, you can come here and you can customize the rules and the threshold that applies to this specific keyword. So we will put, for instance, in order to keep this keyword, we will allow a 30% maximum ACOS on that specific keyword. And I will save, and what you see is that the color changed. So the background of this specific keyword is grayed out. This shows us that this keyword has been customized. So we are applying custom rules to this keyword, custom thresholds. So whenever the system runs and look for everything that is 25% ACOS and pause everything that is above, will not apply the same threshold for this one. This one will look at what we customize. We customize the ACOS, so this keyword will be paused only if goes above 30% ACOS. Now, this is to cover the limitation that all our automation tools is out there. You cannot do this in any other tool. Any other tool, you can simply apply a rule to an ad group, a rule to a campaign, and that's about it. Anything that is inside needs to be cut in the way that you set at the campaign or ad group level. That's the other tool. On our tool, you can do exactly the same. You can work on your campaign, on your ad groups as a bulk, set top rules that are valid for the 90% of the keywords within that groups or campaigns. But at the same time, you can go inside those and you can adjust and specify different thresholds, different rules, if you want, for any keyword that you want to apply different rule to, without the need of creating additional campaigns, additional ad groups, and additional complicancy for you or the tool to run. And again, on our platform, we designed this around this concept. This can be done very, very fast. Now, I can go, for instance, if my profitability increased, I can come back at campaign level. So look, everything is 25 except this is 30. I can simply go back at campaign level. I'm changing my strategy. I don't want anymore to run a 5% profit. I want to increase my ACOS of everything inside to 27. And again, I can do it on the fly without having to create a new campaign, which is also a limitation of our tools. So right now, I changed the ACOS threshold with one click at campaign level. And if you go down at keyword level, you will see that all keywords have inherited the threshold that I changed a campaign, while leaving the customized keyword where it was. So again, this is to underline the fact that with the way we design our tool, you can apply bulk changes at the majority of the keywords within your campaign. You can do it on the fly 10 times a day, and we will adjust the algorithm based on what you tell, while being as specific, as granular as you need to be on your money keywords. There are instances in which you might be willing to lose money on some keyword just because it brings you volume. You can do it with our tool without having to create additional campaigns, and at the same time maintaining the flexibility and speed of action that I just showed you. This is to show you, I just show you the first step that generally users do when they get onboarded. So the first step will be to go through their keyword data, apply, paste the keyword data within our threshold builder, and apply our advised thresholds to their current campaign. This will allow the new users to have a semi-automated situation for which we will look and tweak your bidding. We will pause and enable any keywords that needs to pause or needs to be enabled, and we will test different bids, and we will also run your auto campaigns. What we will not do at this stage will be to go through your customer service term report of your previous setup. If you want to fully automate your PPC management, you will have to go for a PGN. A PGN, I can show you what a PGN is. You see, we have product group name. It's simply, we coded and we added a layer on top of what Amazon offer. Amazon offer only ad groups and campaigns. A PGN is a group of campaigns. You can see our PGN dashboard here. So if you look at the PGN, the orange one are paused. So let me open the banana slicer one. Basically, the banana slicer is our PGN, which is a container for an exact campaign, E, a phrase campaign, P, a B campaign, broad, and an auto campaign, A. And you can see them in the specific here. Auto, exact, phrase, broad campaign. With each campaign, we have several ad groups. And within this ecosystem that we choose to call PGN, product group names, we can mine any single customer service term that is profitable and insert it back into the system's broad, phrase, and exact match. And we can also negate any terms that is not performing well at the auto, phrase, and broad. And we can do this only with PGN because the way we design it, the way we structure it, will allow us to do this, ensuring you long-term performances versus other tools just trashing all your broad match, phrase match, and exact match all in one ad group, which gives you no chance to leverage negative terms unless you're going to hurt long-term performances. And this was the introduction for PGN. So now what do you say if we go about to create one? Would that be okay?
Yes, if we can do it in like short.
Yes, well, pretty short. So basically, let's base our PGN based on the keywords and the product that we automated earlier. So you simply go to add new, and you go add new PGN. We're gonna call it test demo Monday PGN. We leave bid plus not active. Maximum keyword spend, we take the threshold here. So that 13 is the same product that we did before. So I'm gonna stick to this one. So this is 13. The ACOS will be 25. The default bid will be 1.3. The daily budget, let's do it later. The minimum bid will be 0.83. The maximum bid will be 2.6. The minimum action click, I believe, was 10, and the bid increment 0.14 and 0.10, 0.14 and 0. The SKU, let's call it test SKU. And as for keyword goes, I simply wanna start with the keywords that are within my ACOS range, which is 25. So I'm gonna copy paste them in a spreadsheet, because based on how many keywords we add to a PGN, you need to select a specific budget that we advise you to. And in order to do so, you just put the keywords you need to salvage and port over here. And the spreadsheet will give you your ideal budget. And we go 21 and food brush. Okay, so we have 4 keywords. The spreadsheet counted 4 keywords and advised us a default bid of a daily budget of $41. So I'm gonna take the 4 keywords and copy them. Go back to PGN. I'm gonna paste the 4 keywords in here. You see, 1 per line. I'm gonna put the budget as it was advised to 41, and I will simply save a new PGN. Yeah, it takes what it does. Basically, it pushes all the data to Amazon, and then here you are. Yeah, roughly 20 seconds. And then he requests a report, and he went for the report to be ready, and then he downloaded the report back. Okay, so as you can see, the Demo Monday PGN has been created, and as you see, with a simply input of 8 thresholds, plus the copy paste of a keyword and the click of one button, we automatically created a PGN for you, which encapsulates, look at this, encapsulates 4 campaigns, an auto, an exact, a phrase, and a broad, for which we staggered your budget. So the $41 you put as a budget, we split it down to 50% for the exact campaign. 40% for exact campaign, 30% for the phrase, 20% for the broad, and only 10% for the auto, because over the very big amount of data that we have available and over my experience running this tool for me and designing it, we've seen that this is the approach that most users takes. So push of a button, we created 4 campaigns for you. And look at this one. If we go here and check at the ad groups, we create, for each campaign, we created at the moment only 1 ad group. If you were to give us more than 1,000 keywords at once, we will have created 2 ad groups per campaign. If you were to give us more than 2,000, we will create 3 ad groups, because there is a limit to 1,000 keywords per campaign. And this, again, to my knowledge, we are the only tool that allows you to do this, input as many keywords as you want, and we push a button, create them and organize them in this way. But what I want to show you is that if we go at ad group level, okay, we didn't just stagger your budget, but we also staggered your bids. All right, so we told the system that your default bid should have been 130, and yes, we will use the default bid at exact level, but we will lower it a little bit at phrase, because it's less precise. We will lower it even more at broad, because it's even less precise, and we will have the lowest bid at auto campaign in order, again, to save the bleeding. Everything I showed you is easily editable. So if you want to increase the budget of this specific campaign, you just double click here, you put $20 and you save, and that campaign is done. The budget of that campaign is increased. At the same time, if you want to come here and you believe that your auto campaign should have a higher default bid, you come over here, you double click here, you tell the system 0.50, and we just save, and you're ready to go. So not only we can semi-automate your current setup, we can fully automate a tested and very efficient setup, which is a PGN, but also we make Seller Central not needed anymore, because you can take any actions that you used to Seller Central can be taken here. And this is pretty much as short as I could make, Augustus. So sorry if it took too long, but there's a lot to compress in a very short amount of time. So I'm done with the presentation that I wanted to do. If you have any questions, please go on.
Can we look at your main menu on the left? I saw there are a lot
of course.
Just to see if everything is self-explanatory. Maybe you can just describe in few words, without maybe going inside.
This is a test account, so the data will not look good. But basically, overview shows you the rules, the names, and a short description. The product PGN, product group, shows you all the PGN that you created and give you all the data at PGN level. So without you able to compute it on a spreadsheet, the exact, the broad, the phrase, we sum all them up and give you the top level performance of the PGN. Campaigns will show you all the campaigns in your account. Ad groups will show you all the ad groups on your accounts, which you can apply filters on. which is very good. Keywords will show you all the keywords on your account, not divided by ad groups, not divided by campaigns. So it's a dashboard in which we show you all the keywords, and you can easily filter to find the most profitable one, the most volume, and run all the kind of filters you want of them. And products is the same. We're going to show you all the products in one page, and you will be able to filter and sort them as you want to find the most profitable, the one with the best CTR, and to take, like decision both on your business as well as to tweak our automations. So history logs, here we list all the changes the automation takes at campaign level. So what change we do at campaigns. Not just us, but also the user. If you were to change something, so etc., change a name, create a new campaign, change the budget of a campaign, we track everything in the campaign logs. Ad group logs is the same as we create ad groups, but we don't pause or enable, but we track any change that we do, any creation or not, as well as anything that the user does on Seller Central. Keyword logs, we track any change that is done by our automation, by the user at keyword level. Product logs, it's the same. Keyword miner logs, this is a log, a report of the action that keyword miner automation takes. So we will list all the customer search terms that we mined and where we've put them. Term-inator is the opposite. We list all the customer search terms that we negated and where we negated, so that in case the user did not like what the automation did, it can go back to the source and undo it. We will, in our next iteration, we will offer you easy button to undo the action. So whenever you check the log, something you didn't want, you just click undo and we undo it. And product group logs, we track any change that take place within a product group, within a PGN. Storefront, server log, as users don't have, is a management one. A storefront is a link directly to the storefront for this account. Threshold builder is a quick link to the spreadsheet, which is this one, which I showed you how to leverage. Tutorials, that's a very good one, is a quick link to our tutorial page, which is Zon.Tools/tutorials, where there are more in-depth tutorial on what Zon.Tools is, how it works, what the thresholds are, and aside from the fact that it might teach you how to use our tool, it might be something good to look at if you want to have a deeper understanding of PPC or Amazon PPC as a whole and what lever to pull in order to make it work for you. Okay. And then donate us is a donate button because, like I mentioned a couple of times already, we are free in our current beta, and we're going to try to be free for as long as possible. So we simply ask user donation. You can do it, you cannot do it. It is facultative. But yeah, it's up to the good heart of the user. And if it sees value in what we offer, it donates. If it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't. We're going to do something better next time. Yeah, so that was, again, like a highway speed explanation of the left menu.
Okay, great. Thank you. And let's talk about the pricing. So you say it is free right now. Do you have any restrictions on whom are you accepting? You say that people have to apply. So do you reject some people?
Yes, we do. So we reject people without any seller feedback. Actually, our threshold is 5 seller feedbacks. We reject people without a product, simply because there's a lot of value in this tool, not because we build it, just we see what the feedback from our users. And the word is spreading fast, and because there is no really friction of interest, because we removed the price, there's a lot of applications. So we give priority to the biggest account, simply because they are the one we like to work with, and they are the one who leverage the tool at the most, and generally the biggest connection to spread the tool around. But once we dedicate time to the biggest account, we go through a waiting list and we do everybody else. Again, you gotta have a product and at least 5 seller feedbacks. Otherwise, we keep you at the bottom of a waiting list.
I'm sure many people cannot believe it will be free forever. Do you have any timeline when you will start charging people?
That's a very good question. So both me and Tariq, we are naive inside. I'm a donator guy. You know, I donate money to charity. I donate money to people just because what goes around comes around. That's what I believe. I believe in karma and many other things that are naive for many business people. So we will try to keep it as free as possible for as long as possible. And the reason is this one. We are in a marketplace where there are big brands offering bad products and charging a lot of money just because they have marketing money. We are in a marketplace where there are smaller service providers offering similar products, but they charge money, and the product itself was not conceived by a seller, was not conceived for a seller, and although they are more polished as a user interface than ours, they're just not even half as efficient as our one. And also we're in a marketplace filled of gurus which make you believe they know everything and push you products and services just because of the money they put in their pockets and not because of the product or the service might be good. So aside from the fact of having designed a different tool, we also want to be different. We don't want to go through that way. We don't want to go head to head with big marketing budget. We don't want to go and pray and ask some big guru to push us just for the money it takes out of our pockets. So for us, the best way to make an impact and to get as many sellers as possible in our platform and grow as fast as possible is to make it free. And it's not just the fact that we want to grow as a brand and grow as a company. The more users we have, the better we are, because we can leverage each single user advice. We can put every advice to work to get a better user interface. We could put any user advice and strategy to code better rules, faster rules. So we do listen a lot to our users. And again, in our opinion, naive opinion, if we give value, a free price will bring people in. The more people in, the more users we can communicate to, the more users we hear the thoughts about the tool, the fastest we can pivot and make a better tool for all the community. And this, in our naive idea, is fueled by donations. We offer a lot of time for our pockets. We offer a lot of time in one-on-one calls, on the Facebook group, on the private Skype chat with our users, on emails. And we believe that users find value and donate. We started this donator strategy about 1 month ago. Donations are coming in, and if they can keep coming in, and with donation we can cover the costs of the servers and the cost of the coding and the development team, there is no reason for us to charge. If we reach a point in which the growth, the people we onboard, is not as much as the growth of the donation, that is going to be a breaking point in which we're going to have to take a decision. The decision will be, yes, we will be forced to charge, but not because we wanted to, because users don't donate and don't see value.
I would like to ask you, do you have any features planned to be implemented in the near future for the users?
Yeah, so as I say, we run this tool in a different way than other people. All our tutorials are public. Anything you need to see in this tool is public. The reason is because we truly believe it is such a magnitude of step ahead of anything else in the business that aside of the algorithm that are proprietary, everything else is not. So if you want to see the strategy, copy the strategy. You want to see PGN, copy PGN. So it's everything public, as well as our Facebook group is public, and you can find our Facebook public group if you want to join. You don't need to be a Zon.Tools user, but the Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/Zon.Tools. And what we do, we hear our customers. So we we spark conversation. Every update we run, we post it there, and we start a discussion of how to do it better, why people do things in a different way, and we always adapt. So our roadmap is ever changing and ever growing. So we have a lot of future that will happen. The biggest one that I'd like to mention right now are on-script guide tour. So we're going to have an overlay guiding users through the process that I showed you before of automating their current setup and creating a PGN without the need of watching videos on a separate platform. So it will be everything on screen, and it's going to be an overlay graying out everything that is not relevant to what needs to be done right there, right now, in order for the user to move forward. And that's going to be a huge improvement and a huge, huge improvement for users and for me and for our business for onboarding and scaling. We're going to have several user interface improvement. For instance, the sticky headers and different fonts and a lot of things that our users tell us are frustrating for them, and we are listing them and we are doing one at a time. We will add graphs and data plots, so you will not just be able to read the numbers, but you will be able to see a little bit like Amazon started doing now. You will be able to plot your data over time and select different set of data that you want to look at for specific keywords, specific customers or terms, specific campaigns, so that you can actually will be able not just to see the number and understand, because a lot of people are not number people like me, a lot of people are visual. So you will be able to see the performance over time of our platform on a graph. We have already new rules and automations which we are testing, and we will move toward very, very advanced behavior and a flow builder, for which that's our target. That's pretty much just before exiting beta. We will have a flow builder for which very advanced user can go and build their own logic and rules and apply those logics to a specific set of campaigns in a drag and drop fashion. We will have an intelligent threshold builder, so the spreadsheet I showed you will be included within our tool. So when you go about creating a PGN, you will just need to tell us from which campaign you would like us to compute the data, and with a click of a button, we will fill in all the threshold for you, and you will have just to pick the keywords. And this also is going to be a fantastic thing. That is everything toward keeping the user on our platform rather than going to YouTube for the video, going to the spreadsheet to the threshold, just to keep the user more focused and, like less waste of time. We will be adding, like I mentioned earlier, more Amazon marketplaces, starting with Japan, because we already have 2 users that require it. We will be able to add AMS automations. AMS is opening, there is already an API, but it's only read API. AMS is opening beta for write API, and we have the infrastructure to tackle that one and go on AMS right away, and that is going to be also a huge edge on our competitors. And yeah, of course, that's something that everybody's saying. I would say it, and many more to come. So that's just limited to the most important that I wanted to mention here, but there's a lot of more things that we have in mind, and all geared toward making your PPC work better, less bleeding, more profit, and more time for you to focus on other parts of your business. And
how does your support work? I feel you are very busy with onboarding clients. Do you have time to support?
We are, both me and Tariq, we are workaholic. Aside the fact that we are workaholic, I personally love this project because I started 2 years ago for my business, and it helped me a lot in my business and allowed me to automate the only part of the business which I was never able to outsource to VAs or other companies. So I really love a project like a baby, and at the same time, we are very excited to connect with users because I have one brain. You might think that very smart because you might not actually, but I'm not as smart as people think I am. I'm simply I'm fortunate enough to connect with users and hear what their needs are and translate them in numbers. So a lot of the things and ideas that you see or you will see if you start using Zon.Tools are not from my head, are from masterminding with our users. So all this to say that we are as available as we can be. We are almost 24/7 on our Facebook group, always answering reply comments, making videos for the specific user to help him out. We are always available on Skype. So every user once gets onboarded gets our Skype details, so he can chat with us on Skype at any time of the day. And of course, we are available on email. And our response rate, man, is like crazy because that's what we do. That's right now what we brief. That's what we do, and that's what we really believe in. And we love users simply because every time we connect with them, there is some tiny little gold nut that right now might not be worth anything, but if you put it in perspective, it's gonna make great.
Cool. And can you tell us if you have any kind of offer for Demo Mondays viewers?
Man, we are free, so it's not that we can run crazy offers. What I can tell you, this is, look, Zon.Tools is in what we, right now, it's the best kept secret of some of the highest volume seller on Amazon. And like I said before, the world is spreading fast because of networking and because of the free. And we have a huge demand and we are growing very crazy, and our waiting list is getting longer and longer. So although I cannot offer a discount for the Demo Mondays audience, what we can do is, if you guys go to our homepage, which is www.zon.tools, and you click the big pink button that says Get Started Now, a pop-up will come out and we ask you something. If there is a field that it says who referred you, if you guys put in that field, you write Demo Mondays, what we will do, we will kick you up of the waiting list and we give a priority, and we will give you access to your own dashboard and download the data within a few hours from the application. Yeah, so that's not charging money. That's the best we can do, and I hope both for your audience and for you, Augustus, that's a good offer.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Stefano, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for having me, and have a nice evening or day, depending where you are.